All right. Let me make sure we're actually live before I start yelling. Okay, we're live.
Sweet.
Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. This is still a little bit too loud. I'm going to try and talk over it. There we go. Now we're perfect. What's going on, people of Worlds Collide Land? My name is TheSchwantz27, and I am joined tonight in the commentary booth by Gar. What's up, Gar?
Hey there, Schwantz. How's it going?
Yo, we're going to have some fun tonight. We have got, as you can see on the screen, a four-way dance, four delicious racers for you to chew on. We are going to be showing off our Moogle's first tournament flags. So if you want to do exclamation flags there in our Twitch chat, it'll bring up the set of flags. But basically, it's sort of a deviation on the standard race set where we do have to collect 6 characters and 9 pieces of magic, and there's some other goodies that go along with the flag set that that we'll talk about as as it crops up and as we see it. Have you gotten a chance to play a lot of the Moogle's first seed flag sets yet, Gar?
I've done a couple of them. Normally I try to stick to the Ultros League seeds, but the Moogle's first flag seeds are also a lot of fun. They're a little bit more forgiving than the Ultros League flag seeds for a couple of different reasons, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, just a whole lot of fun. I really like it.
Yeah, so there are some subtle differences between the Ultros League flag sets, ultrosleague.com, by the way, and the flags that we are running for the Moogle's first tournament. Notably, Moogle's first tournament adds in 2 of the more powerful randomized character abilities to the game, Magitech and Shock, and it also adds back in a very powerful item into shops. Those are the breakable elemental rods. So we'll see if some of our runners decide to look in some shops for these rods in order to get past the first couple of checks here. I gave the runners a 2-minute warning, so most of them are ready. And yeah, I think we'll have a little bit of fun here. If there are any questions in the chat, just throw them our way, and we might be throwing questions your way, so you never know. Pay attention in the chat. There will be an exam at the end of this. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Very nice, very nice.
But yeah, this should be a fantastic race. We have 4 amazing racers here, all of them very, very competitive amongst each other. Should be a delight to watch.
All right, well, I am going to switch over to the layout, and bam! We've got 4 different runners with 4 different menus, which is great. I love seeing different menus because then it makes it easier for me to figure out who's doing what. Green Monkey with his usual green background. We do have some quests, though, as we see on Double Down's screen, to get high-tier items. You could either take the 4.5-minute cutscene and perform in the opera, or you can suplex a train, which is definitely a crowd favorite, or you could either decide the fate of Sid by giving him the thumbs up or the thumbs down. So we'll see if any of our runners decide to do any of these particular set of quests, because they're fun. They're memeing. They're memery, right? It's all good.
You got to do it for the memes, right?
For sure. All right. I'm going to give our runners the 30-second countdown. And it looks like we've got a late entrance into the race, so I'm going to make sure that they can run. Seed is rolled up. Just download and go. There's a seed up there in this chat somewhere. We're in here. We in this place. So yeah, do you want to talk about the Kefka's Tower skip a little bit here? While I do some administrivia behind the scenes?
Sure, absolutely. So, in order to actually unlock the final Kefka, like it says, you need to recruit 6 characters and find 9 espers. However, in order to unlock the Kefka's Tower skip, you need to either recruit 9 characters or find 12 espers. And what that allows you to do is skip straight up ahead to the statues, and that saves you 3 to 4 minutes of walking and the boss fight where Inferno is normally. So, depending on where the seed takes you, that could be a very viable option.
All right. Well, Zelfer just gave us a little preview of what we're going to what we're going to be seeing here. So we have Terra and Gogo. I think those are two of the characters.
I only saw Terra. But that in itself is already an exciting start.
All right, let's see if Jexy is going to ready up or not. Oh, and Falcon Hit is joining the race too.
Oh, fantastic.
We got so yeah, so if you're interested, FF6 WC.com is where you would download the particular seeds and play the game and have all that sort of fun and whatnot. But if you're interested in doing races and other fun things like that, we have a Discord. I swear we do. That's apparently not the command. There we go. That's the right command. So yeah,
please join. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you that I'm brand new and I am having a lot of fun already. The community is very welcoming and open, and the game is just a lot of fun. There's a ton of resources to help you get through it, and if you have any questions, there's like a nice wiki you can ask any of the community members. It's just a pleasant experience all around.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for our runners to ready up. Okay. So now everybody's readied up. And we're going to get the race started. When the countdown hits 0, then go. Good luck. Have fun, racers. All right. I think we know what we're doing here.
I certainly hope so.
Also, chat, if there are audio problems, let me know. Because I'm the one here behind the beepity bops, and it looks like we are starting. So let's start this timer. And it's Shadow Terra and Gogo. Very nice. Terra has I missed what Terra had, but there's also health in there, which is Bannon's vanilla ability.
Yep, and it looks like Terra has Runic.
Okay, so yeah, so what are the things that are randomized in Worlds Collide? More or less everything. The characters that you start with, the commands that they have, where the enemies are, what's in the treasure chest, what's in the shops. The bosses are shuffled amongst one another. So this hopes to be a great run. The first, few minutes of a run is always some shopping and looting, and we've got Double Down and Green Monkey heading into one of Terra's checks, which is the cave at the sealed gate. There is a concept in Worlds Collide called character gating, and basically what that means is that in this sort of open world randomizer, the different world events that you can access are determined by which characters you've recruited into your party. And one of the famous scenes in the first half of the game where they let the Espers out of the cave, that is locked to Terra's character. So normally we see runners go here first because there are 13 chests down there in that little basement, so lots of good chests down there, and there are 18 total in the sealed gate itself, in the cave itself, although some of them are a little more out of the way, and we'll see what we've got. Meanwhile, Zelfer finds some super balls. Let's go. That is in
Super Ball's a fan favorite for sure.
That is in World of Balance Narsh. So that should be fun, especially with Gogo, who could mimic any item without using that item from your inventory.
Very powerful item indeed. It does non-elemental damage. It can't be blocked.
Yeah, so hello, first-time chatters. Welcome, FF6WC. Hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves. So, yeah, pretty much Super Balls will do a random multiple of 256 damage to a random amount of targets on the screen. So it's very powerful early in the game because, again, random damage that's unblockable, as Gar said, is wonderful. However, the max damage that it does deal is 8,196. So it tends to tail off a little bit more in seeds. And I noticed that we got some stuttering on Double Down, so I'm going to see if that's me or if that's somebody else. Alright, so hopefully I fixed it. But who knows. Anyway.
So it looks like 3 of our racers are currently in the sealed cave. Like Schwentz was saying earlier, it's a very popular check because of the 13 chests that are in that Imperial camp, followed by the 5 that are in the cave. And at the end of it, they're hoping to get either a character or an Esper. It looks like Green Monkey got there first.
We also missed Devious Rng actually went to Gao Manor first, which is one of Shadow's checks, and picked himself up an Esper as Sealing Cat is doing our tracking. Thank you very much, Sealing Cat, making our job super duper easy. And it is a Valiant Knife at the end of the sealed gate cave, and guess what? Anybody can use it. Meanwhile, Zelfer is running into Toilet Atma. This is not a fight that you want to see very early, but with Super Balls and Gogo's ability to mimic, this should be easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Absolutely, and you can see just how much damage. Look at that, just 2 Super Balls.
2 shot.
Atma, it's getting flushed.
Yeah, one of the harder endgame bosses goes down in 2 shots, so how is that even possible, you might ask? Well, Worlds Collide has a concept of scaling based on what your progression is, and it is King Edgar, one of the Figa Bros, that's behind that Welk check there. So that opens up a whole another set of possibilities here for Zelfer, as Double Down is going to pick up his Esper at Gao Manor. So Zelfer is our first runner to 4 characters. So he's kind of got a little leg up on some of the other runners here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Edgar has one free check in the form of the Figaro Castle. You can ride over to the desert, go into the castle, and where you would normally see him in the vanilla game, it could be another character, it could be an Esper, or it could be a very high-tier item.
Yeah, so we'll see what's on the throne. Edgar also has the unique ability to give you half price off shops in the World of Ruin, South Figaro, or in Figaro Castle if he is the party leader. So we'll see if Zelfer takes advantage of the cheap shops. Meanwhile, Double Down reducing his party to 1 and taking Terra down into the Zone Eater cave. How many bridge throws are we going to see here, Gar? Give me a number.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to say 0.
Okay, he might sneak right past all these bridge throws. Meanwhile, Green Monkey, Devious Rng, and Zelfer all in South Figaro, one of the more popular early game spots, as there are 8, I believe, chests on the outside and 14 chests in the basement. Oh, and Double Down gets tossed off of the bridge right there.
Already losing a bet. Devious Rng finding a Valiant Knife in a pot in South Figaro.
And an
apple weapon.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
You're welcome, runners. And Green Monkey also found a Thunder Rod and a red jacket as well. So there's some pretty good treasure down here in South Figaro as Double Down waits for these Chancellors. And this is the real boss of the game, right? Forget Kefka. It's the Chancellors on the bridge here.
The Chancellors can be pretty mean sometimes. Looks like Double Down made it through without too much difficulty.
He squeaks by, and he's going to take this safety save, because if you get crushed by the ceiling, that is a game over. It's a Dragon Horn as well down in the basement of South Figaro. Devious Rng picks up. I saw that on Green Monkey's screen earlier, but I forgot it. And that's a Minerva. Wow. Lots of top-tier loot here early on in the game. We've just got to find a set of Dragoon Boots if we want to have a little pogo stick. And that's a Magus Rod, another high-tier item as well for Green Monkey. That will pump up your magic power by +7. So great find. Aegis Shield, one of the best defensive shields in the game. Not as good as the Elemental Shields because of their magic absorption power, but it's still pretty good. And that is Magicite number 2 for Double Down. That's Seraphim. I didn't see what what any of the magic spells on any of these are yet, and hopefully our runners will give us a taste. Menuing is one of the things that runners tend to try and optimize the most in the game, so it's going to be kind of hard sometimes to see what they've got. Zelfer taking a few grind fights here in the South Figaro basement, so there are enemies that you could take here in order to pump up your levels to get off of level 3. Green Monkey grabbing a piece of Magicite from Gal Manor. That's Alexander, and it's got Meteor on it, which is a spell that you could use if you need non-elemental damage, but it costs a lot, the animation time is pretty long, and it doesn't deal as much damage as you think it should. Right? Moon Rocks to the face, you'd think that that would deal a lot of damage, wouldn't you?
You would hope so.
Alright, so we did see Zelfer take the first battle of the seed against Toilet Atma here before going to loot. We'll see what some of our other runners decide to do, and if they find those precious super balls, like we said before, Gogo can mimic any item, and it doesn't even have to be in your inventory anymore. You can just keep mimicking over and over and over again. Thunder Shield and Minerva for sale in South Figaro. That's the World of Ruin. It's too bad Double Down does not have Edgar, like Zelfer does, to take advantage of that discount double check.
You like to see those discount double checks.
Yeah, Zelfer is going to find those items. I wonder if he's going to pick up the cheap Thunder Shield and the cheap Minerva. Green Monkey going for the Floating Continent early. This is an interesting play here, Gar.
I like it. You get 3 forced fights before a boss, then you get thrown off, and then another boss. So the beginning of Floating Continent can be pretty scary if you're not prepared. But if you are prepared, it's a lot of experience, potentially. Yeah,
so the 3 random encounters that you get up here, they could be a good way to get some levels early, which is what Green Monkey is doing here. And you do get a free heal in between both bosses, so it's not that dangerous. However, if there is a boss at the end of this that you can't beat, then you just lose all of that time that you invested grinding. So this is a Green Monkey making a very aggressive play first.
Important to note that both the first and the third check here, so that's when you land on the Floating Continent and when you leave the Floating Continent, jump back on your airship, there's a guarantee to not be dead checks or checks that reward only an item. They are guaranteed to be either an Esper or a character.
That's right, guaranteed progression. So that's one of the things that makes Floating Continent so palpable early in a seed. This is not a fun mob here, these Deep Eyes. They don't really give a lot of XP, and there's 6 of them. Looks like Devious Rng is going for a river ride. Ooh, we like to see this as well. So yeah, Elite River is my least favorite check in the entire game, but as somebody that is newer to the community, maybe he thinks, oh, nobody else is going to go here, let me go here, and maybe I'll get something that will really help me out here.
Definitely a high risk and high reward play.
Yep, so similar to the Floating Continent, there are forced encounters here on the Elite River, so this is a good place to grind and get your levels up. And levels are the most important thing in Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, so if you can get a lot of levels, you could pretty much do a lot, and that is an Air Force for Green Monkey, my least favorite boss in the game.
Almost vanilla, too. Meanwhile, Zelfer looks like he's going into the Figaro Castle basement. He does not see a character there. He sees an imp, which means that he will not receive a character at the end of this check. It will be either an Esper or an item.
Yeah, Green Monkey must have found some pearl rods in a shop somewhere. I saw 6 of them, and that plus Go-Go means he could also take almost any boss. A little French vanilla Air Force action. He will get a free heal in between this here, and the second boss is also kind of, well, no, this is Magitech, right? Magitech Factory has the cranes.
This is the end of Magitech, but...
Ooh, Double Down finding Dragoon Boots in the Relic Shop in, where is that? That town. That place.
Oh, geez.
Is that Albrook? Yes, that's Albrook.
It looks like it's an Albrook, yep.
Man, Listen, anybody can be a commentator, obviously, so sign up in our Discord for... Anyway, yeah, so we got the Dragoon Boots and Dragonhorn combo now for Double Down. Devious RNG is finding some pretty good fights, actually, on the Leet River. This one can be a little scary, Soul Dancer, once they start throwing stuff at you, like Dirks. Yeah, that's a nap. F's in the chat for Terra, and it is Mog after the first leg of the floating continent here for Green Monkey.
Zelfer running into the spicy chicken.
Oh, no.
Poltergeist himself.
Oh, no. Get your spicy chicken emotes in the chat if you got them. Fortunately... He's bought some Super Balls, so this normally would be a very scary fight, and it's even worse by the fact that you have to walk all the way through the South Figaro Cave and down to get this boss here, and to have it be Poltergeist is pretty scary, but with some Super Balls, you'll be in good spirits, although Go-Go being dead is probably not good, as they will not get the XP for this fight. But, more importantly, you get past one of the harder bosses in the game here.
Yeah, better to run in the Poltergeist here than in Kefka's Tower.
Double Down is in the Coliseum, actually. So in Worlds Collide, there is a random item that you could bet for a random other reward, and all of the enemies are random. So in order to help facilitate the Coliseum, there is a menu where you could see betting what item grants you what other item. And in this particular flag set, there are between 75 and 128 items on that list. So that's about, what, 25 to 50% of them you could see. There was a Genji glove in there for an Atlas armlet. That was really the only thing of note that I saw. Meanwhile, we have another Dragonhorn for Zelfer, as unfortunately that first check of the Edgar Figaro engine room is a dead check.
That is unfortunate. So we'll see if he continues on to the underground castle here. That's a somewhat popular route, since you're right there.
So we're on to leg number 2 of the Leet River, or is this 3? No, this is 3, actually. So one of the saving graces of the Leet River is there are save points where you could use tents or sleeping bags to kind of heal your party back up, which is one of the only good things about the Leet River. There is Doom on that other Seraphim Esper, it looks like, and that will certainly help out with some insta-killable bosses. So, some good things to learn. Valiant Knife doing huge damage on Devious RNG's screen, because he's keeping the health of his characters pretty low.
Green Monkey coming up on the Atma weapon fight here, so we'll see which boss it actually is.
Ooh, and it's Dabbing Yeti here on Devious RNG screen. I think that's another emote. Look at us. We're just spamming stuff. Yeah, Leader is a pushover. The GP Rain from Mog is a great ability to use early on in the seed, because it just throws a flat damage based on your level, and it does ignore defense. Unfortunately, it's a Genji armor for Green Monkey here. Question in the chat, if Edgar has Flare and Merton and Zelfer has no Espers, I guess he has Natural Magic. That is probably a good assumption there. That's probably correct. So, at random, one character will get Celeste's Natural Magic, and one character will get Terra's Natural Magic. And oh no! 8 HP in a dream, and Umaro is dead! Very nice. Devious RNG pulls it out with that Valiant Knife.
Fantastic fight by Devious RNG.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Shadow and Gogo are not going to get this XP, but you know what? Sometimes you win a fight, and it is Grandpa on the river. What are you doing down there with Natural Magic and Rage, and his magic power is 42. So excellent pickup there for Devious RNG, going for a play on the Leet River and finding himself a Strago.
Yeah, you definitely love to see that sort of thing. What you don't want to see in the Leet River is a dead check.
Yeah, that's always a feels bad, man. But yeah, so one of the things that I love about Worlds Collide is that there are usually many, many different ways to get through a seed, just because of how many forks and paths there are. And the fact that we don't have, key items, which is a concept in other randomizers. We just have a character and Esper limit, and that is Zelfer's first Esper right there, Crusader. at the bottom of the ancient castle. And it's got Berserk on it, so if we find Magi Master, that'll be good to go up against him. Green Monkey is still throwing Pearl Rods, this time at Inferno's little brother, number 128. And that is the end of the floating continent for Green Monkey, so he will pick up his guaranteed progression in just a second here.
Double Down buying a bunch of Super Balls himself.
Guessing the timer is paused. I don't know when that happened. It's not supposed to be paused.
Looks like it came back.
Oh, there we go. Alright, for whatever reason, sorry, the overlay was not being refreshed. My bad, everybody, my bad.
Green Monkey finding Ifrit at the end of the floating continent there.
Alright, so that is another Esper for Green Monkey. So Floating Continent was one character and one Genji armor and one Esper, so that's not bad all in all. But the best thing to note is we have 3 different runners with 3 different sets of 4 characters, so this is going to be a wild race here, Gar.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You love to see this sort of stuff. Zelfer coming back. I didn't see what he picked up.
It was the Crusader Esper, and he decided not to fight the dragon down there in the basement.
Interesting choice there, for sure.
Yeah, so everybody is checking Monster in a Boxes looking for that offering because we had the Valiant Knife so early. Double Down, meanwhile, is off to fight a dragon here at the Opera House in the World of Ruin, so we're not getting the dragon we thought we were going to get here. Dragons are shuffled in amongst themselves, so you're not going to see a boss here per se, but you will see one of the dragons. It might not be the Dirt Dragon, and it is the Ice Dragon. So let's see what he does, and he's going to do the Super Ball tactic that we've seen a couple of our other runners employ. Devious Rng is finding his Figabro. Zelfer is coming out of the desert here, and Green Monkey did trigger Lone Wolf, so I'm wondering if he's going to also be going to the Welk spot, and then further up the Narsh Mountain to go do the Lone Wolf and perhaps Kefka Narsh here.
That would be my guess. That's 3 checks that you can do, and on their own, they're pretty unattractive checks, I would say, just because it can take a while to get there. But doing all 3 at once, a great way to find some progression items.
Yeah, it's good value as well, combining multiple checks into one. That is the Siren Esper for Zelfer there. It also has Doom on it. Siren is one of the better Espers for trying to fight in Tier 2 of the final battle. I think that was on the throne, based on the location that he's at now. And Double Down is also going to the floating continent. So a couple of FC plays from our runners on the left-hand side here, Gar. And it looks like Strago has a Rage that will do Landslide. I'm assuming that's Luridin. So that is one that you love to see in your Rage list. One of the things I suggest to newer runners is memorize some of the better Rages, right? So that this way you could take advantage of things like this when you have a command such as Rage. And Strago's got 42 magic power, which is really nice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Making short work of Atma there.
And as somebody points out, there's also the Harpy Eye Rage. That is Arrow, which is another very powerful spell, and you can learn it as a lore. I think that was one of the random battles that we found. Edgar does have natural magic. You saw above the box with all of the commands, it did say natural, so good call to our chatters, Fruity Dinosaur. And it looks like Devious RNG is not going to keep going up Narsh, because remember, they do not have Mog. So Kefka Narsh is a little bit less palpable for them. Zelfer is out of the desert. And we'll see.
He's back to his airship.
Yeah, we'll see where they decide to go next, because that is all 3 of Edgar's checks done. That's another popular combo of checks, is the Edgar leg in the World of Ruin. Green Monkey takes down his Toilet Atma, or as you pointed out earlier, flushed him right down. So we'll see if he decides to go up to the rest of this trip here. And it looks like he's, debating whether to put Edgar in or out.
Looks like Devious RNG is opting for the Cave on the Belt check.
Yep, this is one of Shadow's checks. And you could actually peek it on the ground before you even get over there. So it's a good one, I would say. To
Yeah, the
have.
cave itself is pretty short. It's got a monster in a box, so if you're looking for that offering, that's a pretty good spot to check.
Yes, for sure. Half-price mega elixirs, Turdsman points out in the chat. So towards the end of the game, if I don't have one, then I'm definitely going to go back for that one here. Zelfer is going to the Sealed Gate Cave. Double Down is past his first boss in the Floating Continent, and we have 2 NPC sprites on Green Monkey's screen. So this is either a pair of Espers or some nothing. Ooh, experience egg. What is he? Is he going to leave the soldier or not? This is an interesting
choice.
one. He goes for the egg. So, if you do grab something here at the Lone Wolf check, the other item will be in the World of Ruin at the mines where you recruit Mog in the vanilla game for the World of Ruin. You can go talk to Lone Wolf and you can grab whatever item you did not pick at this particular check here. It is a Magicite on the ground for Devious Rng, so they are going to continue on with this check because they only have one piece of Magicite.
Double Down finding his Moogle. And it looks like Green Monkey is coming up on the Kefka Narsh. It would be hard to believe. Yeah, there we go. I expected him to do this encounter for sure.
And it's my favorite metal band in Final Fantasy VI, Rhysopus and the Piranhas, over on Devious Rng screen. So in the vanilla speedrun, you would normally wait for an audio cue in order to figure out how far along this battle is. But in Worlds Collide, we've randomized the amount of time that Rhysopus comes out from anywhere to 5 seconds to 55 seconds. And I don't know about you, Gar, but for me, it always feels like the latter and not the former.
It's definitely always the latter for me.
Moogle Core is also... Okay, maybe it's a Moogle Core band, as somebody in the chat asks. That is not the Katana Soul in the Monster in a Box there on the Floating Continent that Double Down was looking for. But PM Stalkers are one of those Monster in a Box battles I'm never unhappy to see. One of the only ones that give XP and magic points, and they're usually pretty easy to take out. Green Monkey missing the skip. Yeah, you hate to see it happen. So he's gonna have to take a few other battles here. He does have some smoke bombs though, so maybe he's get out of them. No, he found Thunder Rods somewhere.
Devious Rng picking up the Ramu Esper at the end of the cave. And he's got Strago, and he's in Tomasa. Are we going to see the burning house?
Yeah, I don't know if oh, he's got 2 Valiant Knives there, so look at that. I don't know if Burning House is the move here, but Ebbets Rock could be the move, the RNG dungeon, but yes, you're absolutely right. One of the good things about Shadow's Cave on the Velt check, especially if you have Strago, is no matter what, you always end up at Thamasa when you are done with this check. So excellent use of pairing here by Devious RNG to pair some of these checks together, as Zelfer showing off the fact that you could actually warp out of this area. I don't know where he's going, though. Now, you unfortunately have to go out down the stairs, or you could talk to a soldier to initiate a battle and then just get yeeted out of this particular area. Green Monkey finally at the boss. Oh, and it's one of our statue bosses, Doom. Yeah, so
Doom can be rough at this point.
Oh, 2 out of 4 frozen. And what's worse is one of the frozen people is Gogo, who you would use to mimic these rods that you're throwing at Doom for quad 9's damage. Doom is weak to Pearl and Fire. However, in the second phase of attack, Doom does get both the image status and the reflex spell cast on them. So it's a lot harder to hit Doom in the second phase, but rods will go through anything, so this should be nuff Jigglypuff, as I like to call it here, for Green Monkey at this particular setup, and then we'll see what the reward is. Meanwhile, Zelfer is doing the conga line at Zozo, one of Terra's checks.
Going to meet Dataluma.
Or whatever's at Dataluma's spot here.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you have Y YMPC setting set to remove, you could actually just delete the boss at the top of the tower and not actually fight him. And that is another dead check for Green Monkey. That's some Genji armor. Not what he wanted to see out of this trip up here. He did get an experience egg, and we have no idea actually what the reward was at Lone Wolf, because remember, he let that reward just plummet to its quote-unquote death at the bottom of the Narsh Cliffs there.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes back for that.
Alright, and Devious RNG is going to shut me up and prove me wrong and prove you right, Gar. It looks like they're going to pay the 1 GP per night, and we're going to a Casa del Fuego. What a seed. We've got both Leet River and Burning House and Floating Continent. This is great here.
It's shaping up to be something special, that's for sure.
And at the top of Zozo, we've got Ifrit, weak to ice, absorbs fire. If you hit Ifrit with 5 physical attacks, Ifrit will switch to Shiva, and then Shiva is the opposite, weak to fire, absorbs ice. But if you can't beat Ifrit or Shiva with either of those elemental spells, you could actually run away during the transition between Ifrit and Shiva. You won't get any XP from it, but it's one way to get out of that battle. Zelfer doesn't need that, though, as they will throw some super balls at it. Double down with the Ifrit Magicite there, and that is him done with the Floating Continent. Green Monkey looks like they are doing the Edgar set of checks here, which we've already seen from Zelfer, netting us a juicy piece of Magicite there as well. That is Shote on the chair. Let's see what we got. We got Doom and Warp and Doom. Speed +1.
The Ifrit had Ice 3 on it, so if they're looking for like a nice high magic damaging ability, that's not the worst one to get.
Yeah, meanwhile, Devious RNG showing off that some of the mobs in the Burning House are actually Master Pug, which is from a Monster in a Box. Did he just dodge every single flame in that room? I've never seen anybody do that before.
That was amazing. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, make sure you go give him a follow just for that. That was incredible. Follow our runners there. Little shameless plug action. Double Down finds a second set of PM Stalkers in the Monster in a Box that he was checking at the Cave in the Belt. Green Monkey sees an imp down at the engine room here. So he's going to be fighting his spicy chicken, so you know what that means. It's time to see them in the chat.
Get him ready.
Yeah, he dodged all of the flames in that second room. I've never been able to do that.
I get every single one, personally.
So let's see what's at the end of the Burning House here. And it is, hey, Vanilla, is this even randomized?
Not even.
So I don't think, they do have the Ice 3 spell. There we go. So excellent timing there on that. So Devious RNG is set up for a pretty good end game here, because he has 2 characters with Valiant Knives and he's got tier 3 spells. So that's usually a good recipe for your end game battles. Meanwhile, Double Down is at his bathroom break, and Zelfer is doing some healing up here before going on to their next check. And we'll see what it is. It is Mobliss in the World of Ruin. You could actually check and see what the reward is down in the basement of this first house here. So we'll see. You just got to go talk to the little girl and we'll get it. It's a Ragnarok Esper at the end of the Burning House. And it is our famous Doma Samurai Cyan here at Mobliss.
Ooh.
So Cyan,
that's a good character to pick up as well. He opens up a lot of checks.
Yep, he opens up 3 different checks, but 5 in total, right? Because the Dream is a 3-part check. The Doma Castle Siege, which is a very quick check, and Mount Zozo, where we could potentially fight another dragon, and there are, I think, like 8 or 9 treasure chests in there as well. Green Monkey picking up his Esper on the throne there before heading down into the ancient castle. And Devious RNG, I mean, it's in the name. You gotta go to the RNG dungeon, don't you? You gotta do Ebbets Rock.
I'm kind of a masochist, but I do love me some Ebbets Rock.
I think the check gets a bad rep, personally. I usually, and of course, every time, like I say this, the next time I go into Ebbets Rock, it takes me forever. But I'm usually at the coral chest within a minute of starting this, so that's really not a long time to do a check. However, it sometimes can feel like forever trying to get these 22 and no less pieces of coral to feed to the chest at the end of it here.
Yep. Zelfer seeing Rexol.
Ooh, this is not a fun fight.
Not at all. And if you're dealing with the fight with super balls, it can be a little scary. You gotta hope that the balls bounce and hit on Rexol. If they hit the Soul Sabers, they'll die, and then they come back, and that's like a really long respawn animation.
Yeah, so that's one of the downsides about Super Balls is the whole it's going to hit random targets kind of thing. Unlike in the vanilla speedrun, there is no zinger concept. We can't just use a screen-wide insta-death spell in order to end this fight early. We actually have to hit Rexol down, and that was a very, very nice Super Ball there.
Yeah, absolutely. Devious RNG coming up on the end of Ebbets Rock.
Yep, another Magicite for Green Monkey. And choo-choo, it's a Ghost Train. We don't have Blitz, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to suplex this train, but we do have Doom, so we might be able to see an instant death of it. Or Devious RNG showing off the no undead flag is actually off, so you can throw a Phoenix down or a Revivify on this boss and make it disappear. So very nice heads-up knowledge of the flag set there by Devious RNG.
Green Monkey finding the Gold Dragon in the Ancient Castle.
Yep, this is the one that Zelfer skipped out on. And it is a Magicite there at the end of Ebbets Rock. Zelfer having a bit of trouble with Rexol, as you probably would if your magic or your offense is mostly magic. That's Bolt 3. Ooh, Ultima sighting on Bismarck. That's huge.
Yeah, phenomenal. That's one of the changes from the Ultras League and the Moogle's first tournament seeds, is that Ultima is actually a spell that you can learn in these seeds.
It's big blue bubble time, folks, and I'm excited because I usually don't get to see it. That is Edgar there for Double Down, getting his 5th character.
And Zelfer making it through Rexol just fine.
Yeah, yep, and smartly for Zelfer, he knew that after Mobliz, you have to regroup your party. There's a forced regroup, and what he did was he reduced his party down to 1, and now he's going to fly over to Zone Eater Island and go do the go-go check. Very, very nice optimization use here from Zelfer, as this is sort of a high five with Devious RNG going down into the Mobliz check here, and we'll see if they do this, because they do need a 6th character, and it is Cyan who, as you mentioned earlier, Gar, opens up 5 different checks.
It'll be interesting to see if they actually do the dream or not. It has 3 checks, but it's also kind of a lengthy section.
It's only 2 bosses, even though it is 3 checks. The first and third part of Cyan's dream can only be Esper or item, but the second part of Cyan's dream is guaranteed progression, either character or Esper. So it is one of those very attractive options. And oh, Zelfer getting tossed off of the bridge there. F's in the chat for him. Master Pug is one of the monsters in a box here, so Green Monkey is going to decide to nope out. A Greatus is not worth his trouble. That's the reward for defeating the Master Pug. And Funbaba, number 3, is the first part here. Will blow 2 of your characters away. If one of your characters is dead, they will always get blown away here, so you can kind of tell Funbaba who to blow away if you really, really want one character to be in this second fight here. Same thing with a jumper. If you're in the air, they obviously will not get blown away for this second part of the fight. I don't think we have... Oh, no, we do have a jumper for Zelfer, but not for Devious RNG here. Using Flare on Rexol is a good call, even though it's a long spell animation. Rexol has really high magic defense, and Flare ignores magic defense.
Crushed by the ceiling.
Oh no!
It looked like he was out of that too.
Another F for him in the chat as Green Monkey picks up his Siren on the throne. Yeah, the weird thing about the ceiling crush is if your character's actually moving, even if you have cleared the spot via pixels, the game will think that you didn't. And it's one of those things that really annoys me about this particular check, because you can get to the second chest if you're really fast here in this room, and since he already opened up the chests, he knows what's in them, he doesn't want either of the first two there.
Absolutely. Making the smart play and saving just before this room, so even if he did die, he doesn't lose that much time.
Who is hungry for some wings? We've got spicy number 3.
The Nashville Hot Chicken Sandwich.
Yeah, I'm not much of a spicy chicken person. I do like buffalo wings. Being a New Yorker, you have to, represent your state. But, like Nashville Hot or, like Wendy's spicy chicken is not my jam, unfortunately.
Oh man, what a shame.
Meanwhile, Devious RNG is our first runner with 6 characters, picking up Cyan and deciding to put Cyan in the party. I didn't actually see what Cyan has, but Cyan is also dead, so... It's interesting, though. Cyan is dead, but he had full health. That's an interesting quirk of how that Mobla's battle works. Your character actually joins you at level 3, and then when the battle is over, they'll join at whatever your setting is, either staying at level 3 or at your party highest average level. Zelfer is out of Zone Eater now, and he's going to reform the party, and we'll see where he decides to go with this particular set. Double Down grabbing the Siren Esper on the throne. Green Monkey seeing the Esper at the cave on the Veldt. So this is a pretty close race. I mean, if we're doing just based on numerical things, all of our runners are about equal in terms of objectives here. So this is really fun, especially since nobody's really doing the same route here.
No, every runner is basically doing a different route. So we'll see at what point they converge.
Yeah, it might be a little hectic for the viewers to follow out there. With everything going on, we are trying our best. But if you guys and girls in the chat spot something we don't see, you could certainly clip it, which with Twitch's clips feature. And we've got 2 Doma Castle trips. One in the World of Ruin, that's Zelfer going to the Dream, and one in the World of Balance, that's Devious RNG going for the Doma Siege here. You can see what the reward is on the Siege, as if it's a character that walks out, they can immediately join your party, and that is Realm. So that's character number 7 for Devious RNG if he decides to keep this and not switch out. Ooh, that's Realm with Lore. That is juicy.
That's a pretty strong play. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so...
up a couple of pretty quick checks, too, so...
Cyan has tools, actually, so I don't know if we bought drills. Usually whenever I see a drill, I usually just buy it. It's only $3,000. It's not very expensive here. Alright, and Realm is into the party over Cyan. Right, that's probably a good thing here. And we've got a swimming Ultros in my nightmares. Yikes.
Ultros won, yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else dream of Ultros? There is probably a support club out there for that. A flame shield in one of the barrels there in Thamasa Green Monkey picks up, and it is time waste of a boss Narappa over on Devious RNG's screen. You could actually instant death Narappa, but Narappa has Reflect on, so don't cast Doom. Otherwise, you're going to kill yourself. Congratulations, you've played yourself. Also susceptible to stop, which is what the stunner weapon will inflict. However, not a very hard boss there, as it's a strength +2 Esper on Green Monkey's screen. I think that was Siren, yep. Meanwhile, we got some pugs for Double Down. They have a 1/8 chance each of dropping a Minerva, one of the strongest pieces of armor in the game, but we already saw that Minervas were for sale in World of Ruin South Figaro, so if you can get them half off, it's not worth taking that fight there, Gar.
Yeah, absolutely. Zelfer in the train coming up on the little puzzle here.
Yeah, did you happen to see what the sprite was that was running away from the ghosts? That will tell us whether it's a character or an Esper.
It was a ghost, so Zelfer will not receive a character here. It will be either an Esper or an item.
We got some ghost on ghost crime happening in the dream. That's never good. Meanwhile, it is the gold dragon for Double Down, and that was a hefty Super Ball play there. Wow, those are some very nice Super Ball rolls. Usually Super Balls taper off, about like 20 minutes or 30 minutes into a seed, but we're at minute 41 and we're still going strong with them. Green Monkey is finding out that it is Cyan here with this gaggle of children. Take that take that statement for whatever you will, and we'll see him go and get his Cyan. Flame Shield is actually the drop from the Gold Dragon. That's Double Down's, second dragon that he's done. On Zelfer's screen, it's the Magitech part of the sequence, and actually, you could take your Moogle Charm off here in this sequence, and you could grind using the Magitech command instead of whatever your character's command is. So if you really need some extra levels, that's a good way to do it, because you have access to all of the awesome Magitech abilities there.
Absolutely. Tech Missile, the star of the show.
Devious Rng, the only one with Realm, is going to Esper Mountain and seeing what type of sprite comes in, and that's Locke.
It's Locke.
And he's deciding to go through with it. Character number 8 is Locke. Locke also opens up some great fast checks, so I don't hate this play here either. But at 8 characters, Gar, I think you're now starting to think about the Kefka Tower skip, right?
That was exactly my thought, so that's going to be my guess for what Devious Rng is going to go for.
Oh no! Zelfer runs into Magi Master here at the second part of Cyan's dream. Magi Master, on the first turn, he does not have a wall up. However, after the first time you damage him, he changes his elemental weakness to 1 element. He will nullify 6 elements, and then he will absorb 1 element. He also has a lot of magic power and can cast twice per turn. So this is a horrific battle here, and I don't know if he has learned Berserk or if he has the Esper for Berserk.
It doesn't look like he has either, unfortunately.
And
the other quirk with Magi Master too is that he has very, very high physical defense. So you really want to have anything that's going to ignore defense. So like your fixed dice, or if you have a sword tech user, your dispatch, something along those lines.
So Locke, who was just recruited by Devious Rng, actually has Throw, which is one of the more powerful commands. I did not actually see if they swapped Locke into the party, but I think I might even do it unless my offense was set. And with him, he's got a pair of Valiant Knife users, right? And he's got 2 big magic casters with Realm and Strago, so I might not have swapped in Locke there. It's all up to Terra now on Zelfer's screen. This is a rough fight. Green Monkey is following Zelfer into the dream, and he forgets which door he's supposed to go through.
I do that all the time.
Yep, it's very easy to get lost here in the dream. You got that fuzzy overlay on your screen, and yeah, it's basically muscle memory for me now. Like, I couldn't tell you which way to go, but I could sort of say, oh, press this way on your controller. There's one of the things I hate about Magi Master is that even if you have elemental weaknesses, he will cast Doom in his 5th or 6th turn in his AI script, so you can't even rely on that. Edgar, it looks like he is jumping with the Valiant Knife, so that's why his damage is actually cutting through Magi Master's defense. As you mentioned earlier, you need defense ignoring stuff.
Yeah, it's a great strat.
Yeah, you got the Dragon Horn, you got Valiant Knife, you might as well use it. It's not, one of the more talked about strategies, but it is definitely one of the better items to jump with in the game besides your lances and your Atma weapon and your fixed dice. Meanwhile, Double Down is taking a trek up Zozo, so they'll find their Esper at the end of this. Green Monkey is going to join in the Magi Master fun in just a second. And Devious Rng is loading up on some relics in order to make his party more potent.
Earrings a very popular option, increasing your magic power. And magic power is very, very powerful both in the base game and in the randomizer.
Yeah, so magic power is very powerful, especially early on. But depending upon what the magic power of your users is, can get pretty ridiculous. 40 and above means that things will start hitting very, very hard, and we already know that Realm's magic power in vanilla is 40. Strago's in this particular seed is 40. Realms is 42, I believe. And character stats in this flag set are between 100% and 125% of vanilla. So
And down. Oh, never mind. I thought I saw the flashing on Zelfer's screen. Got
yes,
a little excited.
yeah, Magi Master is one of the only bosses that actually doesn't do the crack pow flash. They just poof and disappear. There's no death animation. It's Dullahan at the South Figaro Cave. This is one of Locke's checks here. It's a pretty popular one because there's a healing pond that you could hit up both before and after this particular boss fight. Unfortunately, Dullahan does absorb ice, even though the sprite looks like he would absorb fire and is undead because it's a literal chariot with a skull on fire. But no, he he doesn't do that.
There we go. Down goes Magi Master for Zelfer.
Oh, very
Phenomenal.
nice. It was a grind, but he did it, and he will get rewarded here with the last two pieces of it. And as one Magi Master fight ends, there's another one that begins. And Dragoon for the win is absolutely right.
Yes, indeed. Stray Esper, the reward there for beating the Magi Master.
Yep, let's see what's on it. And it is speed +2 with Mute and Doom. Mute would be great for the final boss, as in Tier 2 there is one of the parts that only does magic but is hilariously susceptible to Mute. Flare will also work here on Green Monkey's screen. It's going to be a bit slow, but it is non-elemental, so that will work against Magi Master. And there's character number 9 on Devious Rng's screen. It is Setzer. So, interesting thing to note is they have actually unlocked the Kefka Tower skip, but since they only have 4 pieces of Magicite, they cannot actually fight Final Kefka yet. So they are going to have to find pieces of magic, but now they could sort of narrow down what checks they want to do, because there are certain checks that only reward Espers or items, and there are also certain checks that you could peek beforehand. I believe that was a Phoenix Esper there on the Doma throne. So Zelfer is one character and one Esper away from his go mode here, which is very, very nice for him. Green Monkey, after this Magi Master fight, consequentially, will be one Esper away from go mode.
Double Down looking to pick up his Cyan.
Yep, that is character number 6 for him. So if you are Devious RNG, is your plan to basically go to checks that you know will have Esper items at and ones you could peek at this point? Because you don't want another character, do you?
No, I don't think so. I think that once you have the skip online, you're just looking for Espers. You're looking to get into Kefka's Tower as soon as possible. Oh
no, Green Monkey accidentally berserked himself instead of Magi Master. I have done that so many times, and it is annoying each time. So Devious RNG heading to the weapon shop there, and that is Maduin. That is a awesome Esper. Life 3 and Bolt 3 and Merton on that Esper. That's a very nice one. And yeah, I don't think very many people are going to find that. And he also is going to go check the Curse Shield. At this point, unless it's like 3 or 4 battles, I'm just going to ignore what the Curse Shield is. In the vanilla game, it's 255 battles. In this game, it's 2. Ooh. Wow. Wow.
So I think if you're Devious RNG, you're definitely decursing that shield.
Yep, that is exactly what I'm doing. And they do have a ribbon as well, which will negate all of the nasty status effects that putting the Curse Shield on will get you. So there you go. Question in the chat, how do you tell how many battles? Well, when you pick up the Curse Shield, it will say ... and then a number afterwards. So that'll tell you how many battles it will take to uncurse the shield. Green Monkey is in a let's put my controller down and go do something else mode here. He's got Berserk Terra against Magi Master, and this is not fun.
Yeah, but if you're looking to refill your drink or something, it's not a bad time.
Yeah, unfortunately... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Double Down heading up to Mount Zozo.
And there it is. Green Monkey does take down Magi Master, also with one party member left alive. So very, very reminiscent of what Zelfer did earlier. We haven't seen Mount Zozo yet, so this will be something new for us, I believe, as Devious Rng heads to the Edgar set of checks. And I think he's going to be pleased to have 2 Espers, I think, on this path, right? 1 Genji armor and 2 Espers. So they will be closer to Kefka's Tower. Green Monkey getting Magicites 7 and 8 here at the end of the dream. Zelfer is picking up character number 6 with Realm against that Narapa. So we'll see if Double Down decides to take on the dragon, because he already has 2 dragons, and dragons will give you a lot of XP and MP, but they also increase the scaling of your enemies. So we'll see if he decides that getting this juicy XP is going to be worth increasing the scaling here. What do you think? What do you think the option is for him?
Yeah, I would, if I were in his position, I would take it just because you're right there, and especially when it comes to Kefka's Tower, you can never be too over-leveled, right?
Yep. The only problem is, like I said, you increase the levels that all of the enemies are, and when you're in Kefka's Tower, you're fighting without your full party, so it can become a little bit dicey. Or did I say spicy? I don't know, but there it is. Spicy chicken number 4 on Devious RNG's screen, and Green Monkey decides to buy his way into Kefka's final Kefka, rather, as he picks up Magicite number 9 from the Zen Thief. So he is our first runner with our requirements. We'll see if he wants to do a little bit more shopping or if he just wants to go. Behemoth Suit is the reward from the Dragon at Double Down, and it is Big Blue Bubble time, folks. Ultima is coming out now.
And we're at the top of the mountain. We see Celeste. All right.
And Andrew is raiding with a party of 6. Thank you very much, Andrew, the ambassador of LaCroix and Final Fantasy VI. Appreciate you stopping by. Your table is set up right up front. You got a window seat, and your server will be right over. Speaking of people coming right over, that is Celis at the end of Mount Zozo coming into the party here. So that's yet another character, this time with Sword Tech, and one of the great things about Sword Tech is we've completed Cyan's Dream. I don't know in this flag set if Cyan's Dream unlocks all of the Sword Techs, but it does do that in most of the flags, so I'm assuming it does here as well.
Green Monkey, the first to enter Kefka's Tower.
Yep, they're in at about 54 minutes and 25 seconds here, as I did something dumb. There we go. Sorry, I was trying to fix the stuttering here on the screen.
No worries. Devious RNG slaying the spicy chicken, picking up his dragon horn.
There we go. Oh, that's right. It was a dragon horn, not the Genji helmet. Orange Starburst? No, only yellow ones for you, buddy.
And it looks like Double Down is going to do his Mog and Kefka Narsh checks.
Yep, very smart to do this. However, it looks like he's in the World of Ruin.
Oh, that is the World of Ruin. You're absolutely right.
So he's getting Dragon number 4 under his belt here. It's Storm Dragon. Double Down is Double Down the Dragon Slayer. He's Triple D, Double Down Dragon Slayer. Meanwhile, a Windy Wind from the Storm Dragon. See, this is what happens when you scale your enemies up too high. They start doing, like, really potent magic. Because normally Storm Dragon doesn't cast Whirlwind, casts things like Wind Slash and things like that, so.
Yeah, it can be a little bit nasty, but Double Down's got that Shadow with a Genji Glove, with 2 Valiant Knives, taking it down, no problem. Zelfer in Alzur's Mansion.
Yeah, so you're saying that Whirlwind was actually a benefit and not a hurt.
A damage boost, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Green Monkey taking down an Ultros, blink and you miss it. I don't even know which one it was. It went past so fast. So Azur's Mansion is another one of Realm's checks, and what I like to do is I like to pair this with a potential trip to the auction house to combine my Jador trip into getting multiple checks at once. So Zelfer only needs one Esper, so if this isn't an Esper at the end of Azur's Mansion, they could perhaps go the Green Monkey route and buy their way against Kefka. Meanwhile, it is Inferno at the top of the Tritok Cliff, which is an open spot for all runners here.
Something to note about the Jador auction house is that the auctioneer will tell you if there are Espers available. He will say glowing stones are still available. So something to look out for there.
And it is Magi Master at home over on Zelfer's screen. They fought both the real deal and now the imposter at the end of Azur's Mansion.
This one's significantly easier to take down than Magi Master.
Yup, for sure. Devious Rng has completed their leg of the Edgar checks and is now at 6 pieces of magic, so he's got the requirements backwards now, with 9 characters and 6 Espers instead of 6 characters and 9 Espers. But
Double Down squeezing out the win there, just shy of alive.
Oof. And he was the one with the low HP, too. Yeah, Inferno is...
Valiant Knives putting in work.
Inferno is an endgame boss. He doesn't mess around. And like I said, Double Down has beefed up the levels of the bosses that he's fighting. So in this particular set of options, it is characters plus Espers plus dragons times 2. So his enemy levels are effectively 15 plus 4, that's 19 times 2, which is 38. So that's pretty high. Compare that to someone like Green Monkey, who's at 15 plus 1, which is 16 times 2 is 32. So Green Monkey's enemies are going to be significantly easier than Double Down's. And I know, I'm sorry chat, if you were told there would be no math on stream, but that's just the way it is.
Green Monkey coming up on the final 4 fights of Kefka's Tower before the tiers.
Oh, I see what Devious Rng did, and I'm going to point it out here because it was really smart. He actually stepped out of Figaro Castle, saved, in case this is not an Esper. Instead of walking all the way back out, he could just reset. So that's a good heads-up play here.
Absolutely.
We
Green
do
finding tentacles.
Yeah. Yeah, we have the linguine of the seed here. If you're wondering how we cook our pasta, just take a look on Green Monkey's screen and you could tell. And that is Double Down in go mode there with his 9th Esper. And Valiant Knives are actually for sale into Zen. And did you see how many people can equip them? Basically the whole party. So he's just going to sell the farm and buy some more Valiant Knives. Meanwhile, Zelfer did not find what he was looking for at the end of Azur's Mansion. But he is going to find it in the auction house first try. So this is even though it's spelt differently than the Zelfer that we know with Zelfer luck, apparently the luck transfers to names as well.
I never get this lucky. So getting it first try here, pretty phenomenal. It's going to save about a minute or so each time. It's not an Esper, so and now he is in go mode.
Yeah, so it's just this is going to be a very tight race for second place, and don't count out Devious Rng yet, because even though he is behind in terms of count and he is not in go mode yet. That is a limit break from Strago. It's too bad that his limit break is actually an instant death move. So thanks for nothing, Grandpa. Because Devious Rng can actually skip right to the switches and doesn't have to fight Inferno or go through all of the first part of the tower. So he's going to save a few minutes, actually. But this Gold Dragon has given him the business.
Oh.
And French Vanilla
Goddess.
Oh my goddess. And unfortunately decides to love token after the first hit. Which means no more physical attacks for Green Monkey. Goddess has extremely high magic defense. You see that tier 3 spell only doing 1600 damage, and we got a down Moogle here. This is going to be a tight fight.
A little bit of a pinch for Green Monkey for sure. There's the big blue bubble coming out for Devious Rng, taking down the Gold Dragon.
Yep, sometimes you got to pull out the Ultima. Unfortunately, only Terra left, but, you know, Gold Dragon was throwing out Bolt 3s, which is really annoying because they could cast just regular Bolt which is pretty pathetic for a dragon. Green Monkey decides that he has to regroup after Mog just basically gets flicked off the screen there. And it looks like Zelfer is heading back into Figaro Castle to buy some last-minute things. There are 2 things in this game that don't like sand, the airship and Kefka's shoes. So unfortunately, you have to land the airship a bit outside of the castle, which is quite annoying. But Double Down also went into Figaro Castle, so there's got to be something good in here. I think somebody mentioned it earlier on stream that there is half-price Mega Elixirs in one of these shops, so definitely something you're going to go back for at the very end of the game. But I think he does have a Mega Elixir in his inventory because he did defeat Magi Master. So one thing I want to point out that Green Monkey did, which is actually really smart, is he knew that this fight was Goddess, and Goddess is always a pincer attack. And Goddess also only hits the party on one side at a time, right? So he split his characters up in order to be on 2 different sides of Goddess, so this way they won't get damaged at the same time, except for those AoE attacks like Water Edge. Of course, as soon as I say something, make me look like an idiot. Thank you very much, Green Monkey.
We did see the Merton coming out on Green Monkey's side.
Yeah, so it looks like he decided to regroup. He threw some elemental protection onto his characters, and this will help make this fight go a lot faster.
And down it goes. Yeah, no love token that time. That certainly makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, so that is the last fight for that particular group of bosses, and it looks like Zelfer's looking for the tower. He will be our second runner into the tower. A lot of setup going on by our other runners, and it looks like that was another character at the Cullingen Inn. I didn't even see who it was. It was on and off the screen so fast. So unfortunately, Devious Rng couldn't pick up another Esper very fast, but he still got the Search the Skies option from Setzer, and it looks like that's the one he might take here. Nope. Tracker Sealing Cat pointing out it is Sabin. So we got the Figaro brothers reunited as Zelfer and Double Down are both into the tower at basically the exact same time. This is really exciting stuff. Devious Rng getting a heal from the airship. In the world of balance, you could actually go to the bottom of the airship and both get a heal, and there's a shop there. Looks like Double Down may have messed up when setting up his party, so he's going to take a reset and try again. So Zelfer getting that slight advantage over Double Down here. And that's another Ultros. So I think we've seen 3 Ultroses this seed, right?
That sounds right. And it looks like this one is the 4th one, so we will have a friend with Mr. Ultros.
Oh, it's our favorite COVID boss, Chupon. Sneezing everybody off the screen. Meanwhile, Devious Rng finds our second vanilla boss. It is Doomgaze at the Search the Sky spot. So he's found both of them, right? Because he did Burning House earlier?
That's correct.
Yeah, so this Chupon fight shouldn't be difficult for Green Monkey, who's got Ice 3. Chupon is weak to Ice, so there that goes. And it looks like Green Monkey will be ready to take on Final Kefka here after stepping on the statue.
That's right. One unfortunate thing about Ultros 4 is that you get nothing at the end of that fight. No EXP, no AP. You just get sneezed out.
Yeah, quite annoying. Green Monkey's levels are pretty decent, though. That's 35 on his Terra, right? So anywhere in the mid to upper 30s is what you want to see for Final Kefka. Obviously, higher is always better, but then it also takes more time, right? So
Green Monkey coming up on his last fight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we didn't do this side yet. Thank you for correcting me.
No worries. I thought he did it too, so.
Terra with 5 HP and a dream for Devious Rng, and there goes Doomgaze, and here comes Senor Scrontium Sir, or what the actual name is, Super Behemoth. Match site number 8 for Devious Rng, and that's Golem as well. That is a huge pickup, because I don't know if anybody else is... I don't know if we found Fenrir in the seed, so that is our only calmness protection other than Life 3 that I've seen in the seed. And Zelfer is taking on this dragon here. Perhaps not comfortable with their levels. It is the red dragon, though, which can actually be muddled, and I saw we had the muddle spell on one of our Espers, so we'll see if that strategy comes out. Instead, we're doing Super Balls.
More Super Balls. You love to see it.
This is not the big blue bubble I was promised.
For smaller bubbles, though, I'm getting very lucky with the Super Balls.
Yeah, that's huge damage. Speaking of huge damage, here comes Wump. That's not going to be fun. And let's see, it's a ghost holding up the collapsing house, so this could be our 9th Esper for Devious Rng, and even if this is not an Esper, he could still buy what's at the Thief at Tzen, because that's where he is in this town. And, ooh, nice dodge from Realm on that flying bird.
Green Monkey taking down.
Adios, Senor Behemoth. That's him down, and Zelfer taking out the red dragon, his first dragon of the seed.
Sorry, I cut out there. So the Senor Behemoth has 2 forms. The second form is vulnerable to instant death and is undead, so revivifies, doom, anything like that will work.
Yeah, and this
108 for
very nice time. Yeah, so in this particular set of options, you are allowed to kill a boss with a Phoenix Down or a Revivify. That's an option that's actually turned off in our Ultra Sleek settings, but it's turned on for our Moogle's First Tournament. If you'd like to find some more information on Moogle's First Tournament, I got you covered. That is the link to the rules and the info. That ooh signified a dead check, I think.
It was a dead check. Devious Rng picking up a pair of fixed dice.
Yeah, don't need that. Do need that, though, and it looks like he's going to save it in order to check out what it is, or you could actually go to the World of Balance and see if it's a different price, and he's unfortunately flying away from his go mode. No, go back.
Oh, no.
Turn around. Come on, chat, let's will him towards it. Going for a dragon, though, so not a crazy play here. Green Monkey, however, is starting off our final Kefka battle. There's actually 4 tiers to the final battle, and you set your party beforehand. If one of your characters is dead during the transition between the tiers, they go out and somebody on the bench comes in, so that's generally not good, because we've only been using a set of 4 main characters for most of the game here. This first tier is mostly physical damage. The head is susceptible, the head is weak to fire and will death counter with Quake, so you generally want to take that down either first or second. The long arm is susceptible to instant death, so that's why you saw X Zone make like David Copperfield and disappear, so that part is dead, and we just have the fist left. One thing to note is that even though Fenrir was cast on this particular tier, multi-summon is on in this set of options, so he could use Fenrir on this tier to avoid all of the physical attacks, and he could use it later on to avoid calmness here, Gar.
Yeah, absolutely. Devious Rng taking out the Ice Dragon in the Opera House, no problem. Getting a Thunder Shield for his efforts.
How does that even work? Ice Dragon drops Thunder Shield? I don't know about that.
It's a crazy world we live in.
So Double Down is actually the first one to one of the Switch bosses, and it is the Doom Pasta, the Tentacles. Devious Rng needs just 1 Esper, and he'll actually be at the same spot that our other 2 runners are now. So let's see if he goes back to Tzen and throws down some cash to buy that item.
I certainly hope so. That would be the best play for him right here.
Meanwhile, Green Monkey is just trying to finish off the one part of Tier 1 that he's got left. Oh, Mog going down, and he's queued up some attacks, so we might actually see him go to Tier number 2, down a party member. Let's hope that he doesn't accidentally kill him here. Oh, clutch block from Edgar as well. And yes, so very good that he did not kill this boss here. And we'll go and pick up Mog with this Phoenix down. And it looks like Devious Rng is heading to the auction house.
Double Down coming up on his goddess.
Or did Devious Rng already go? No, that was Zelford that went into the auction house. Never mind. It is Tentacles fight here for Zelford and Double Down with Goddess. Green Monkey trying to get his party back together, and oof! That is almost a max damage swing with that Atma weapon there from Edgar. He's been hitting the gym like his brother Sabin.
Gotta get strong, and that's gonna take down tier 1 for Green Monkey.
So tier 2 is 4 different parts. The Tiger Head there is weak to ice and throws all sorts of nasty status effects and spells at you. That's generally the first target you want to take out. There is the blue guy that does just physical damage and will death counter with 10 physical hits. The one in the middle is Tools, is susceptible to instant death, and you just saw Mute come out for Magic, because Magic hilariously only casts spells, but is susceptible to being silenced, so go figure how that one works. Meanwhile, first try for Devious Rng, also getting the Esper here, and he won't be far behind these runners, even though he's still in the auction house, because remember, he has Kefka Tower skip, so he'll end up on the statues and not at the very beginning.
We see Merton coming out there for Green Monkey, having his party set up to take advantage of that.
Yeah, none of this tier is weak to either fire or wind, which is what Merton is. It's fire and wind spell, but it just deals a lot of damage, and it's a great way to take them out very quickly. And oh no, we've got a zombie. Double Down is through his goddess fight. Zelford done with the Doom Pasta.
Meanwhile, Devious still looking. Oh, no, he did actually. That's right. No, he got his 9th Esper at the auction house. Ugh. So now he is go mode.
Yep, it looks like he's going to do a smidge of shopping before deciding to head into the tower. Yeah, that Atma weapon coming through with huge damage. So in Worlds Collide, we actually made a change to Atma weapon. In the vanilla game, you can... it's only good after level 64 because of the way the damage formula works. It basically takes your damage and then it does divide by 64 at some point when taking your level into consideration for the last part of the damage calculation. In Worlds Collide, we never get up to levels that high. So we decided that we're going to make it 32 instead of 64. So now we see the Atma weapon a lot more often than we used to, and it's doing hefty amounts of damage here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Double casting Merton on his screen. He must have picked up a gem box at some point.
Yep, we did see Devious Rng go in and plop down some money on an economizer, so it looks like he is going to Ultima his way to his time now. Ultima is a spell that, it's got a decently long cast time. It's not as long as Flare, but it is kind of long. But the worst part is it costs 80 MP per turn. The spell costs are not randomized in Worlds Collide, so economizer on your Ultima casters is definitely a must, and since Ultima is ridiculously powerful, you don't really need to pair the earrings with it anyway. Tier 3 for Green Monkey, and left side down for Double Down.
Devious Rng entering the tower now, about 115.40.
And remember, he's heading to the statues, so he's going to be nipping on the heels of both Double Down and Zelford here. Green Monkey on Tier 3. Tier 3 is 2 parts. The girl in the back is got 9,999 HP, will absorb all elements, so that's why you see Meteor, which is a non-elemental spell, come out. We'll also heal and revive both parts of the boss, so that's why you want to take that part down first. The second part is Sleep. will deal some nasty, nasty attacks once it gets below a 10,000 HP threshold, and will death counter with Calmness, which is an instant death physical attack, which is why we might see a Fenrir cast come out right here in order to cast the image status on our party to make sure that those physical attacks don't actually hit us. Devious RNG is just going to blow through everybody with Ultima here.
Double down, finishing off his senior behemoth.
Using Doom, very nice. Oh, that's right. Doom does not work in... Doom does not work because of the no undead flag. You instead have to use a Phoenix Down. I forgot about that. And Double Down also... Double Down also forgets about it, and then he realizes what happened. Here comes Medio from Green Monkey, so he's now under 10,000 HP. We need something to get him over the 10,000 HP threshold. There it is, and Calmness comes out, will whiff on 2, and Green Monkey is now on to Final Kefka, which basically is sort of like a waltz or a dance, if you will. He does have a little bit more than 60,000 HP. We'll cast Fallen One on the party in the opening turn, reducing your HP to 1. And we'll start counterattacking when he's under 30,000 HP with things like Havoc Wing, the strongest physical in the game, and Hyperdrive, one of the strongest magic single attacks in the game. If he gets under 10,000 HP, though, he will counterattack with Ultima, and that does a lot of damage, Phil Swift says. So we don't want to do that. However, there is one reprieve for Kefka, is that he will charge his ultimate attack called Goner, and during that section, he is actually not going to counterattack us. So we'll see the dance play out here on Green Monkey's screen as Double Down is starting on his final Kefka battle. Zelfer right behind with the Ultros Shupon fight.
Devious RNG coming up on his spaghetti.
Mom's spaghetti? Hopefully not.
Mama made good spaghetti. Double Down, beginning his ascent up the tiers.
Yeah, so Green Monkey taking advantage of Fallen One here with the Valiant Knife, doing a ton of damage with Shadow, and only healing Edgar, because Edgar's got the Atma Weapon, and the Atma Weapon will do less damage if you are not at full health. So that's his strategy, and it looks like he's going to throw some shields at the problem.
Yep, good way to deal with it. Breaking the shields, casting the level 3 version of their element. So breaking an Ice Shield to cast Ice 3. Thunder Shield Bolt 3, and...
Yep, Train will mute and blind the party, and unlike in the vanilla game, we fixed the evade bug, so that Dark actually matters in this game. And here come the elemental shields while Goner is charging. Remember I said there are no counterattacks in this particular phase. 3 of his 4 characters will die if Goner actually gets off. But at least Edgar will be left. Here comes the flame shield, and we'll see if this is the last one here. And there it is, the Crack Pow GG's for Green Monkey. First place 1:20:12 is the official time here in the race room, so get your GG's in the chat. Awesome job. And we'll see if he wants to come in for an interview. So remember what we said, there are also 2 other not on-stream runners, so he actually finished in first ahead of everybody, so excellent job there from Green Monkey.
Double Down taking down his tier 1. Bit of a spooky situation for Devious RNG. Solo Shadow against the Goddess.
What the heck was his time? I said it, but I don't remember it now.
1:20:12.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And down goes Goddess for Devious Rng. Zelfer transitioning the Super Behemoth into his second phase, and is just going to use a Revivify to polish him off.
Very nice. Yep, Green Monkey said that he's going to take a minute, so we will see when they come back. I think Zelfer is just about ready to get into his final Kefka battle. Devious RNG is going to be fighting their last boss here in just a second. Our third Ultros of the seed. Now's a good time to chill for our runners. Go give them a follow. They are the ones that are putting on the show. We're just here telling you what's going on the screen and giving you some insight.
Yeah, again, all of our runners, like very talented players, definitely deserving of a follow.
Yeah, this was a very interesting seed, too. You could go lots of different ways and do lots of different things in order to win, right? We've got Valiant Knives. I think there were a couple of fixed dice that were around. We've got Ultima. We've got Merton. We've got Tier 3 spells. So it's very cool to see all of these different strategies and tactics. And one of my favorite things about Worlds Collide is there's more than one way to skin the cat, if you will, on most seeds.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know why we're skinning cats, though. That's sort of a
strange... a little grim.
Yeah.
But I really liked this seed in particular. I really liked just how open it wound up becoming. Devious RNG picking up Strago, that kind of shaped his whole experience. You know, that's not something that you normally see, and I thought it was cool to see it, so...
Meanwhile, we do now finally have Green Monkey. What's up, Green Monkey? GG's, congratulations on your first place finish.
Thanks. Had some struggles towards the end, I don't know. My brain went out the window or something, but it was good.
Yeah, there was that Goddess fight, which you smartly reformed your party and split them on either side in order to take advantage of the fact that Goddess normally just fights one side at a time until, you know, the water edge comes out.
Yeah, and I had 2 flame shields on, ready for the water edge to take double damage, but other than that, she didn't love token me the second time, which was awesome. I thank her very much for that generosity, because I had Edgar swinging his big old Atma, and it just wasn't good for business when with a love token out and stuff.
You never love to see love token.
No, it's definitely a huge bummer when you're... I mean, if you have offering or something, which I checked every friggin' monster in a box in the world for offering, but couldn't find it this seed, which is tough when we had like a Valiant Knife and Atma, so I was like, damn.
Yeah,
we were talking about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, we noticed that you went to, I think you went to the floating continent the earliest of our runners. Was that part of your thought process was, okay, I got Valiant Knives at the beginning of the game, I want offerings, there's a monster in a box up there, plus I can gain some levels, let me go?
Yeah, I was just looking for like a level check, and you know, that's a nice perk as well. I usually like going to floating continent at some point when I start with Shadow, and... I found some pearl rods, and I was kind of like, you know, this is going to be some good damage against whatever bosses, you know. Cross my fingers that it's not like, I don't know, someone that likes pearl damage, but...
Yeah, no Rexol, no Atma, although there was a toilet Atma very early in the seed, though.
Yeah, by then I had found the thunder rods and, like, loaded up on a whole bunch of those. They were really cheap and Narsh, so I was like, alright, cool. But that was kind of like my offense. I didn't, you know, plan a ton of late game offense other than setting up Edgar with an egg and an Atma weapon.
Oh.
and I just let him go. Did someone just wipe?
Well, not exactly. Terra, unfortunately, was on the receiving end of a calmness there.
Oh,
Yeah, so it seems that I know that you found Fenrir, but Double Down
Yeah.
must not have. Golem was actually buried super deep in this seed. Was at, I believe, Search the Sky spot, right? With Setzer. And
Okay.
Setzer was after Locke. Locke was after like some other like, yeah. Devious
had
RNG
trouble-
has 10 characters, so we saw a lot of
Yeah.
the seed.
And I think like I came on characters pretty late. I was worried sort of about the opposite. I had trouble. I hit a bunch of dead checks, and then I was at like 5-4-4 maybe, something like that, 5-4. I don't know. And then I got Funbaba, whatever character was. Oh, Cyan.
Cyan, yeah.
Dove into his dream, and but yeah, I had trouble finding that last character. I thought for sure it would be somewhere in Mog or Edgar's checks, just because I got those guys kind of later, so I thought it was going to be somewhere in there. But
anything about your run that you want to talk about that we sort of missed?
not really. I don't think. I took the egg over whatever.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about. And you never went back to see what the
I
reward
thought
actually
about it.
was.
But I didn't. Yeah, I didn't end up needing. If I needed an Esper, I might have gone back and tried to snag it.
Yeah, because you bought your last one from Zen Thief. So if that wasn't an
Yeah,
Esper,
exactly.
then maybe you might have gone that way.
Exactly. Yeah, Dream worked out real nice. It was like triple Esper, which was huge. I hope that that's the dream of Dream, I guess. I was at like 6-5, so I just like dove into Dream because it lined up pretty well with where I was at, and so that was good. But yeah.
Gar, you have any other questions for Green Monkey? Before we let him
No,
go?
I don't think so. I've got you coming into Kefka's Tower at about 54 minutes and 25 seconds, blazing fast. And then hitting up the tiers at the hour and 8-minute mark. So nothing to say. I thought your performance was terrific.
Well, Magi Master was not terrific.
Magi Master's
fell
always
apart
rough
at
to
the
run into.
seams. I don't know what happened to me. I like berserked Terra by accident. I forgot I even had berserk. I actually only went on berserk to like show like, hey, I have berserk and I'm an idiot for not casting it this whole time. And then I accidentally clicked it on Terra, of course. Yeah, so things just fell apart for me really quickly. I actually left the room when it was just Terra versus Magi Master. When the watering came back.
It was bathroom break time.
He had a valiant knife, so I was like, I don't even know what to do right now. But
Looks like Double Down taking down his Kefka.
Yep, he did finish with a time of 1:28.23, so get your GGs out in the chat for that as well. Very nice time.
Absolutely. Zelfer and Devious RNG neck and neck.
Oh, cool. All right, I'll let you guys get to Double Down. I don't think I have anything else. Fun flags.
Oh no. Devious RNG has got a full party frozen. Oh man.
Doom.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, well, let's hope that Tiger casts
Tiger.
S-Cross, to unfreeze it. But thankfully, Realm actually died. Now she's back, and here's the S-Cross that I talked about. So that's not too bad of a freeze. That would have been awful if it would have went on any longer. Anyway, thank you, Green Monkey. Again, congratulations on your first place win, and we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks for all that you guys do.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Yeah, getting frozen like that is never fun. The only way out of the unfreeze is to either just wait for an obscene amount of time or use a fire spell on your party. And speaking of obscene, here is Double Down in the interview booth. Welcome. Congratulations on your second place win on stream. 128.33. Awesome job. Give us some thoughts of the seed.
I'm just happy to be called obscene instead of absorbent, as I think you called me the last time we were doing a race. It was good. It was a little less of a jet seed than the last race we did on Thursday with this flag set, but all those Valiant knives were a lot of fun. So, yeah, I kind of wish I'd done it a little faster. Obviously, Green Monkey really figured it out. So yeah, but still fun seed.
Yeah, so you had your Valiant Knights going, and I think you were one of the only people that got Celeste in the end. I don't know if you did any of Celeste's checks, though.
No, I didn't. I mean, getting Celeste was a mistake. I sat there at the end. I was at 7 Espers. I was sort of assuming that Zen might be an Esper as well. So I figured I wanted to fight another dragon. There's really no good reason for it, but I wanted it because screw those dragons.
Yeah, you were double down the Dragon Hunter, the triple D in this seed. 4 of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's tough for any dragons to live. So I thought I would go get a dragon, and I should have. I was about to go. You probably saw me. I landed at World of Ruin Narsh, and then I was like, no. I'm going to do Mount Zozo. That's a better idea. But that was a worse idea. That was a stupid idea. So yeah, and I got a useless Celeste for it, who did nothing for me. So I lost a good 3 minutes or 4 minutes from that little blunder.
Yeah, so did your bosses feel like they were tougher? Because when you take more dragons, sure, you get higher levels and more XP, but you also increase the scaling. Did you feel like your enemies were getting pretty tough there towards the end of the seed?
I mean, I wasn't too worried about it, mostly because I had a low HP double VK Shadow for pretty much the whole time. I don't think I healed him more than once or twice. So, I mean, there was a couple sort of dicey boss fights. Like that Inferno got a little spooky at the end.
I was talking about the Inferno fight, yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. Like, I don't think the scaling was running away from me. I think by the end I was level 60 or 70 or 80 or something crazy. Like, I think I was pretty high level, so I wasn't too worried about the scaling. And I was really hoping that grabbing another dragon or two, I would find something like an Illumina so I could give Edgar some purpose in life, because he never really figured it out. He was a caster who didn't have earrings or anything, and he wasn't really holding his own.
Yeah, so the only other interesting thing that I recall was you finding out the hard way that the no undead flag is actually off in this seed against Senor Behemoth.
So annoying. And like, we talked about it after the last race, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking I'm real clever. I've got Doom all lined up. I cast it. It works. It hits on the first try. I'm like, man, I'm so smart. I'm so good at this game. And then he comes back, and I'm like, man, I'm so dumb. I'm so bad at this game. And I go to my inventory and pull out my Phoenix Downs like a common peasant. And yeah, I had to summon up my memories of vanilla. But hey, second time's a charm.
Gar, any other things you have for Double Down here?
So I noticed that you went to the Coliseum pretty early. Were you just hunting for like any kind of weapons at that point, or?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to see what was there. I didn't feel like I had something. I was basically looking for something to really run away with early fights. I had my VKs. I think I had both VKs at that point, but I wasn't really comfortable in those to steal some early fights. So I kind of went there to check in on it, and then found the Super Balls right after, and that changed the whole equation from there. But yeah, I was hoping to go in there, maybe see if there was an Illumina or Ragnarok. Didn't see either of those, and there were some moderately interesting things, but nothing that I felt was going to be worth the time to sit there to churn, like a Mithril Rod into a Thunder Rod or something like that. So I left pretty quickly.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring it up. You were the only player to visit the Coliseum, at least as far as we could see on the stream, so...
Yeah, I thought it was worth a peek. I mean, I had my VKs, so I thought if I find an easy fight, Shadow might be able to run in there and just shiv people with his VKs to get me some loot. But yeah, nothing that really seemed like it called for it. So, oh man, look at all these people casting Ultima in here too.
Yeah, you missed the big blue bubble apparently.
God, I was playing it on hard mode with my Merton and my VKs.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, that's one of the cool things. This seed definitely demonstrated that there's multiple ways you could sort of get your offense in and get going here. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there were. I'm sure the others probably had slightly better or at least different routing. My route was a little funky in spots. I'm sure there's some very good questions to be asked about my routing, and I don't have good answers for them. So, but yeah, and then doing Edgar's checks really felt bad. Those were not very productive. So,
no, definitely not. Any other final thoughts or something that we missed that you want to highlight?
I think you missed talking about how great of a job you two did on commentary, I'm
Oh,
sure, and Ceiling
course.
Cat doing great tracking, the restreaming, everybody doing an awesome job. What a wonderful community. I mean, you said it ad nauseum, but hey, Moogle's first tournament is coming up. This is a fun flag set. Even though we didn't have Magitech and Shock to throw around this time, it was still pretty fun. So yeah, join up, sign up. Thank you for putting on our race tonight. It was a lot of fun. You people are wonderful people, and all of you watching as well, also wonderful people. There's 32 wonderful people here.
Yeah, shout outs to them. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you, Double Down, for participating.
Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
All right, so thank you, Double Down. We actually did have a finish. I thought this was a double reset, but it's not actually a double reset. Devious RNG went to hit dot done, and he turned his whole game off. You hate to see it happen.
Ending time.
You hate to see it happen. Let's see. Let's go check out the race room.
Unfortunately, Zelfer taking a wipe there to tier 3. That's very, very rough with those meteos coming out.
Yep, so Devious RNG was in 5th place with 136.33. So we'll see if we can get either of them in for an interview. Interview either of you. Join waiting room. Cool. Alright, so let me do this for a second, and you could talk about how awesome our community is. In the meantime.
I would absolutely love to do that. So first, just like Double Down said, thank you to Ceiling Cat for providing the tracking. Could not happen without you. I know this was invaluable to me. Second, thanks to all of our racers. They did fantastic performance by everybody. Everybody going their own route and still eventually coming together pretty quickly. You love to see it. Thanks again to all of our people in the chat. You guys are awesome. And yeah, if you're interested in playing, please, by all means, we would love to have you. Worlds Collide is it's a great little community. We have a Discord where everyone is super nice. They're like, it's awesome. Please, just join us.
All right, and with that, we'll bring in our other two runners here, Devious RNG and Zelfer. Congratulations on getting through that seed. GG's.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
So let's start first with Devious RNG, as you did some of the more interesting things, I think, that of most of our runners. You were the only one that ended up getting the Kefka's Tower skip. Getting 10 characters. So normally when you get a lot of characters up front, are you happy that you're like, okay, I can get skip, or are you sad because you want this thing to be over with already?
Mix of both. I mean, like the one benefit that I'm finding is that there's typically 2 espers in like the what's it called? The auction and in Zen. But so like, okay, that makes up for a little bit of the espers, but having so many characters with so many like meh choices, it kind of gets overwhelming trying to figure out where to go next. So I keep my whole thing is while I'm going through a check, trying to think through, okay, what's my next move? What's happening after this? So the more characters you get, the harder it is to figure that out.
Is that kind of why you took the Elite River check there, just for the like the random battles on the river?
Yeah, I wanted the experience. Like, I wanted to get some of those early levels because I figured once I got those first couple levels, then all of the subsequent checks are going to be faster, and you're already at what's it called? Returner's Hideout, and I had 2 Thunder Rods. So with 2 Valiant Knives, 2 Thunder Rods, a bunch of potions and Phoenix Downs, I figured, why not get some early levels and see where this takes me?
And
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's a good strategy, but that was my thinking.
well, let's pivot over to Zelfer. You took a different strategy at the beginning. You found those super balls and you ran at a boss right away.
Yep. I'm like, okay, so I'm new to like this was my first race, so I still use like the from the guided Moogle's first seed, and so that's Narsh and Returner's hideout. And so when I found the Super Balls and Narsh, I'm like, all right, well, check.
Yep, very smart. Going right to a boss, and you were rewarded right away with Edgar. You were the first runner that got character number 4 immediately. And unfortunately, Edgar's checks weren't that fruitful in this particular seed. I think it was 1 or 2 dead checks and 1 or 2 espers. I don't remember what the. I think it was either or. There wasn't really a character down there, and you and Devious were the only ones that found the Murder Child realm after picking up Cyan, go into the Doma siege there. So talk to me about your final party composition and sort of how you approached what your endgame offense was going to be.
So until I found Realm, I actually didn't have much of a plan. I'm like, all right, so I've got jump on Edgar with Atmo weapon. That's something. Shadow was just going to be a heal bot. I found Phoenix. I'm like, well, I guess I'll put this on Terra because it's got Murton. And then I found Realm. I'm like, all right, nope, that's the plan. I found that. I found the gem, or I got the gem box. I can't remember where I found them, but I bought a whole bunch of Thunder Shields. I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going in with. The part where it fell apart is I forgot about mana cost or MP cost, and
Yep.
yeah, I'm starting. I'm like, what do I got? I got. Okay, I can throw the Mega Elixir now. Whatever, I'll be fine. I've got health, or I've got Shadow for health. Okay, that's gone. Tinctures. I guess we've got tinctures. We'll use those.
Well, Devious RNG thought about that and went and picked up some economizers right before heading into Kefka's Tower. I think, Devious, your plan was we're just going to big blue bubble our way through the rest of this seed, and that was a smart play, grabbing those economizers there.
I mean, having 2 different espers that had ultimate like ×6, going end game with 4 characters that had ultima and some like 6 or 8 earrings and 2 economizers. The only thing I was trying to balance was making sure that I kill in the correct order. So that slowed me down a bit. And I've had a couple cases where I've lost the character kind of in that like last chance swing at one of the Kefka stages. So I was a little more cautious, and that definitely cost some time. But yeah, definitely Ultima Strats was what I was hoping for.
Yeah, having all 4 of your characters being frozen also cost you a little bit of time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible bit of luck for sure.
I mean, my friends in Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer always refer back to that's where my name came from, which is honestly what it was. The fact, like, I had a different username before this, but I always got the worst RNG of all time. So, hence the name change.
Well, the RNG wasn't bad when you went into the auction house to get your final Esper.
Yeah.
You got it first try, which was good.
That made me so happy.
And
Yeah.
same with you,
I've had
Zelfer, as
horrible-
well. First try, auction house.
Yep,
Yeah,
I was so
absolutely.
happy to see that.
And then Devious RNG, with all the bomb skips in the burning house, you practiced that, didn't you? That was 100% skill.
I mean, that has never happened before.
No,
I usually
I've never seen
assume
it.
I'm going to get every single one of those fireballs, and the fact I think I only got 2 encounters or something. That was a pleasant surprise.
I was very thrilled to see that because that never happens to me.
Same.
But super cool to see that.
Yeah.
And then Zelfer, coming up in Magi Master, in Cyan's Dream, I noticed that I think you got a little bit scared. You started jumping with Edgar there. What was going through your head?
'Cause at that point, basically, I had Shadow, which again is just a health bot. Actually, no, I don't even think I had. Yeah, I had Shadow. I can't remember who else, but yeah, everyone was dead. I'm like, all right, well, I guess the goal is to just keep Edgar in the air as much as possible. If he can't see me, he can't hit me.
absolutely true, and it worked out for you. And I was very happy to see you finally taking him down like that. So great job.
Was that a John Cena reference? Dee, 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 dee.
No, but it is now.
It is now. So yeah, do you have anything else for our runners, Gar?
I have nothing else for them other than to say, again, awesome job. Thank you both for participating. I hope to see you hanging around some more.
Yeah, so Devious RNG, any other final thoughts, something we maybe missed that you want to bring up?
No, it was a lot of fun. It's been like I said, I'm very new to this, as same as Zelfer. I've got massive spreadsheets in front of me that is typical of getting started, and appreciate all the resources on the wiki. Those have been super helpful, and there's been a couple other things. As someone who graduated from the Duckling program of FF1, and then seeing the Moogles first over here. And just kind of seeing that whole desire to teach and train and help other runners, get really good. Definitely really appreciate it, and love the kind of the community of these Final Fantasy Discords. So yeah, I even used a couple strats that I learned this afternoon when a couple guys jumped into a practice run. So yeah, that's it. There's a lot to learn. Love the game. The community's been great, and yeah.
Awesome. So happy to hear. Thank you for volunteering to be on Restream. It's one of those things where we can only do the shows if we have runners, and sometimes it could be a little bit nerve-wracking being up on the big screen in front of everybody, but you did a great job, and you definitely entertained us with some of the trips to, the Leet River and the Burning House that we normally don't get to see. So appreciate that, and thank you, and hope to see you on stream more often. And then lastly, for Zelfer, you got any other final parting thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, this is my first race, and I was kind of surprised to see the done checks come in while I was not until I was actually in Kefka Tower. I'm like, wow, this is it goes to show how accessible this is. It was a lot of fun doing this, and I definitely want to get into more of these races.
Yeah, the three of you two and Double Down were all neck and neck through the sort of the end of the seed. Devious took a little bit longer because he went and got more characters, but when you warp right to the switches, all of a sudden you're right on the heels of the other runners that went into Kefka's Tower 6 or 7 minutes ahead of you.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to watch the restream of this.
Yeah, it was awesome. And again, thank you as well for volunteering to be rebroadcast. Can't have the show without our runners, so make sure you go and give them a follow there in the chat. But hope to see you more often. And that was awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, Gar, this is going to do it for us. Another awesome Saturday. Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide, the Final Fantasy VI Randomizer. You got any other thoughts before we get the heck out of here?
All of our runners did great. Again, it just goes to show you, the level of community that we have here. It's tremendous. So thanks again to our runners. Thanks again to all of our chatters. Thank you, Schwantz, for helping me. This was my first experience commentating.
Woo-hoo!
So this was very pleasant. I hope to do this again in the future. And that's all I got.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job. Awesome. I'm glad to have all of these newer first-time Moogles, coming to hang out. And of course, we have to thank Ceiling Cat, making our job so much easier doing the tracking. So thank you so much, Ceiling Cat. Really appreciate all the hard work. It is tough to track 4 different racers at the same time. As somebody who also does tracking, I know how difficult it is, but it's always amazes me, how everybody does it all of the time. So thank you so much. Hope you had a good time at SGDQ as well. That must have been a pretty cool experience. But now we are coming down off of this particular race. We do have weekly races over on the Speed Gaming family of networks on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to check out the Discord, make sure The link is down in the in the chat there. We will announce, what Speed Gaming Network will be on Wednesdays. We try to also have races on Thursdays and Saturdays, depending upon the staff. So, yeah, this is a lot of fun, and hope to see everybody on the next one. Thank you very much, and we're out. Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, actually, before we say goodnight, I should raid somebody, right? I haven't done one of these in a while, so forgive me.
Yeah.
It looks like, we've got some runners that are out there running. So let's go and raid Kegalas. He is running the Tonic A Week 5 seed. So if you are in the Tonic A bracket in the Ultros League, this is the only time I'll ever say this. Click off the stream now. Do not watch it. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead. This is your final warning. But we're gonna go raid him, say hello, and cheer him on as he does his Week 5 Ultra Seed. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye now.
Take care.